What's up, everybody? We're here and we are shredding social, hanging out with two of the guys that I hang out with Joe every single week. But we have the one, the freaking only, Fobby Naghmi hanging out with us this morning. It is this morning. It's been a whirlwind, but we're laughing. We're having a good time. And we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. But we're going to start with breakfast. Because
the most important meal, by the way.
Everybody knows, I talk about it on my podcast a lot, eating healthy, eating right, especially when you're eating Elvis pancakes and egg whites.
It's tough to eat right when you're in Nashville.
Yes.
Vegas.
I think this was right. I think if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, you're next to Sun Records, you're sitting in Sun Records Diner, you have to have Elvis pancakes.
Okay, so tell us about Elvis
What is
pancakes.
Elvis pancakes?
Oh, they were the most amazing pancakes I've ever had in my life. Let's start with that fact, right? So we have the Elvis pancakes. They're pancakes, and they got a peanut butter drizzle.
Delicious.
With bananas.
Like bananas Foster, not just like regular bananas.
Yeah, they were warm.
Yeah,
you're right.
like
Yeah, absolutely. And then I threw a little bit of the East Coast in there by bringing in some egg whites.
Just to be healthy, right? Because the yolk was going to be too much for this meal.
Because what I thought to myself, I said either I can do the Diet Coke or I can do the egg whites.
You didn't do both?
No, I didn't do both.
So you did a regular Coke?
No,
At breakfast.
I don't do soda.
or egg yolks.
Dude, this is the thing. So I was literally at this event over the weekend, and I had somebody ask me, like, how do you, because I was actually eating like a big meal. They're like, how do you stay fit eating that? And I'm like, well, I'm going to choose to eat good food. Like, I'm not one of those guys who's going to not like going to pass on good food. Mm-hmm. I just choose to make other better decisions throughout the day. Like, if you eat a great meal like that, sure. Like, you might as well. When you're in a place like Nashville, find some good food, enjoy the food.
Absolutely.
And then just be willing to like be dedicated, be a little more thought conscientious when you're having your other meals. But that's it. But I think this is awesome because Elvis pancakes, everything about what you said, Fobby, except for the egg whites. That was a mental thing.
Josh, I don't know what made me do it, man. I was sitting there and I was like, should I get the potatoes? And then something said egg whites. And I said, okay, you know what? And now the waitress did look at me odd, but she was
sure she did.
Very
She's like,
odd.
you think you're being healthy, sir. You could have just gone with the potatoes and been fine with it. But so, like, best pancakes of all time, how would you rate them?
I wouldn't go best pancakes of all time.
Okay.
Definitely perfect for the moment.
Awesome.
Okay.
So for the moment, yes, absolutely.
So if you could, would you put them in your top 10 of pancakes that you've consumed?
Yeah.
Top
There's only
10?
one
Top
better.
5?
There's only one better for anybody living in San Francisco. There's a place I can't think of right now, but I think it's called Blue Star Pancakes, right down the street from Nob Hill.
Oh, interesting.
And you got to wait in line.
That long, huh?
The place opens at 7 a.m. California time.
Of course.
So for you guys, right?
Okay.
And so 7 a.m. And if you're not there by 6:40, you probably won't get a table.
Awesome.
No way.
Dude,
Dang.
I had to go back second two times to get a table.
Wow.
So wait, were the Elvis pancakes, are they fluffy pancakes? Are they like heavy pancakes?
They weren't heavy. They were very fluffy. And instead of stacking them, I think Elvis liked everything flat on his so you could see what he was eating.
He was pretty.
So they weren't stacked pancakes, which I thought was kind of interesting. So they were laid out three in a row.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wild.
There you go. Elvis pancakes. If you guys are, where did you find it at, man?
This was at the Sun Records Diner on
Records Diner.
3rd Avenue, 105.
Here in
I'm looking for my
Nashville.
royalty there. Sun
Okay.
Records.
I was gonna say, if you ever get a chance, if you're ever in Nashville, head over to and get some Elvis pancakes. They sound delicious.
And don't get the egg whites because I don't think Melanie likes that.
I will make fun of you. If I hear you got the egg whites, I'll make fun of you like I made fun of Fobby.
I feel like for a lot of our audience, though, there have been and there will continue to be a lot of conventions and mortgage conferences here in Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas.
Wow.
It is not Las Vegas, but it basically should be, right? They call it Nash Vegas. Have you guys heard this?
Yes,
Nash Vegas.
yes.
It feels like Las Vegas sometimes, but there's a lot of events in mortgage here in Nashville. I think I've been here like in the last 2 years, maybe like 6 or 7 times. So if you're going to be in Nash Vegas, I can't wait. Nash Vegas, go there.
I would. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll definitely be back. And plus, there's so many other great food places over here. You can't really lose.
Yeah.
It's similar to New Orleans. The food.
Very
the-
true.
Oh, okay. There you
A lot of
go.
Good food there.
So speaking of mortgage, though,
Yes.
we're in an interesting market right now, and it's you and I had a conversation earlier with the hopes of a bright future here in 2023. We're right around the corner. The year is almost over. I think we're in the worst of it. We're coming out of it. What are the, Fobby, you being a guy who has had a deep experience in the mortgage business, you've had been part of a lot of very successful companies. Now, what would you say right now if you're a branch manager, if branch manager's listening, regional manager, maybe a head of a division, what are the advice that you would give to them to then how to be a better leader to help their team grow in this type of environment?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, it is a strange market, but it's not a new market.
No.
I keep hearing this gloom and doom. And, you know, Josh, I think you were out there. I don't know if you got in late because you're playing issue, right? But everywhere you go, there's a lot of doom and gloom today.
Tons. It's crazy.
And you know, yes, 1994, January 3rd was when I got in this business. So I've seen these cycles before. And one of the things that I think really is important to always remember, guys, is if you look at sports teams, 'cause I love sports, right? When the season ends, they're still training for game one. Off-season training.
Yep.
So we're in our off-season. So use this time to figure out all the things you were saying, oh my God, if I had more time, I would do this. If I had more time, I would do this. This is that moment as a leader for your team to dedicate yourself to fixing those issues that may have caused some people to not be part of your team today.
Yeah.
Because people left during the last 24 months.
100%.
They're going to leave today. They're going to leave tomorrow, whatever, right? Figure out those reasons that cause people to leave and fix those while the engine is kind of humming.
Yeah. What did you not do in 2012? What did you not do in 2008, 2009, right?
Yeah.
That you wished you did then, that then things got busy again, that now you have some time to focus on.
I mean, I can't tell
That's
you, man,
interesting.
in 2020, you know, the pandemic hit, right? We were all in lockdown, then all of a sudden the rates start dropping, and now we're all working from home, and people are having to rewrite their manuals on work from home policies and procedures and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. The compliance people are going crazy, rates are dropping, applications are, we had time to do nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, you know, in 2021, things started kind of get normal, but
Right.
not really normal.
Yep.
But now you have that opportunity, like, hey, if you want to take the time to build out a social platform, you know, I know a great
Now's
company
the
that will
time.
help you.
Couple of different ones.
Right,
Yeah,
couple-
yeah.
That's one of those analogies, though. I think about that, like such a great sports analogy because we are in the off season, but now's the time to train hard. That's
Yeah.
the off season. People are taking, kicking it back, and especially mortgage professionals. We all know, like all of you out there, this is not the time to sit back and like. I heard so many people like on Facebook like, "Oh, I'm going on a vacation. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take the next 3 months," and I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, now is not the time to be going on vacation. Now is the time to be like going all in, double down, focus to what your point is here. Like strengthen those muscles, bring your team together, have those conversations that need to be had. So when it happens, like when we all know, like you said, we go through these. We went through these before. Continue to do the right things.
Listen, Josh, I was telling Joe earlier, I said the reason that you're seeing messed up pricing, I think Chrisman wrote about this about 10 days ago on one of his articles
Yeah.
on why we're not seeing 103, 102 on the back end kind of stuff. The bottom line is the bond traders, and this is where it comes down to, right? So people, I know I'm talking secondary and capital markets. I apologize. I'm not known for that.
Bro, 'cause this is going over your head.
Right. I'm going to try to explain it really. I'm going to try to explain it so people understand because this is so simple once they hear it. The reason they don't want to pay the premium pricing is they know that Joe's going to refinance me in 9 months.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So why am I going to give Joe 102 today and then have him come back and take that same borrower and refinance them? So if they know that the rates are going to drop, you've got about 6 to 9 months to get your team together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Train. Fix the problems. I know for me, we're actually bringing on a new CRM.
There you go.
You know what I mean? We want to be ready for this stuff.
Nice.
So as soon as the rate drops, we want to have our database ready. We want to have all the engines working, and boom, start
Right on.
refining again.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's what
need
you got to do. You got to be proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
So many managers are reactive, Josh, and we all seen them.
Yeah, I say stay proactive if you do. And now is the time. Actually, over the weekend, I heard this. Now is not the time to be the cheerleader for your team. It's the time to be the coach.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
is the time to step in and be like, hey, like you don't need the rah-rah bull crap. Like, you need somebody who's willing to like, hey, let's double down. Let's focus on our activity. I'm going to kick your ass for the next couple. Like, because if you don't, like, we're going to get in these weak habits. And when we go to play, when we step back on the field, ready to play, we're going to get dominated. So you don't need the cheerleaders right now.
No.
You need the coaches. You need the people in your life who are going to help you get through these next few months.
Well, not only that, but you got to get through these months too, right? This is not just like a tomorrow thing
No.
where it's going to flip on the switch, right? every lender that I know still wants to make money right now.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to be working twice as hard as everybody else. If you're out there taking a vacation, you're missing out. Someone else is out there on the field doing double time.
I mean,
right?
the reality is that you can't predict the market.
That's right.
I don't care. We were talking about this. I don't want to mention names, right? But you can't predict markets. You can estimate markets, but what you can do is you can be prepared for the markets.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
And as soon as you're prepared for that market, then everyone says, "Oh my God, that guy's a genius."
Yep.
Yeah.
But
100%.
this is they don't see that in October, November, you were preparing a new software, new this, new that. And one more thing I want to add is a lot of managers and owners of the company, especially I talked to a lot of owners of companies recently, they always go after that new shiny object.
Yeah.
Always, dude. SOS,
Right?
SOS syndrome.
And it's like, as soon as the rates drop, there's going to be some shiny objects that are going to follow them, and they're going to go after it.
Yep.
Right now is the time to find that shiny object.
There you go.
Implement it correctly with a sales mind in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because now is the time. Now is where your loan officers will say, okay, what do I got to do? Because I'm down to 2 units a month. I got to get back to 8. You know what I mean? And so now is the time to implement that shiny new object. Get the engagement.
Dude, so I want to talk about the shiny new object because I think what you're about to release on November 12th, this is the third year in a row?
Second
Second year in a row.
Thank you.
Potapalooza.
Yes.
I want to talk about this,
Potapalooza.
and this is a perfect kind of a segue over to Potapalooza because in my opinion, a shiny object, it could be starting a podcast. You have some of the best podcasters from across the industry going to be part of Potapalooza. But for everybody listening and watching, what is Potapalooza? Why'd you do it?
So Potapalooza is basically a all-day podcast session, right?
Yeah.
Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time, goes on till whenever. So we have
Way too early.
Well, on the East Coast time, right? So we're going to have 6 different podcasts. Joe and Josh will be on there. I don't want to miss anybody's name. I know there's going to be 4 more people, right? 4 more shows. We have 4 keynote speakers. We got Todd Duncan. We got Christine Beckwith. We got Karina Carter. We got Carl White.
Awesome.
I mean, if you want some
All-star lineup.
takeaways as a loan officer in this market,
You bet.
you got to plug in.
Absolutely.
Because I purposely sought these speakers out because I know that they can share some nuggets that loan officers can execute the next day.
Dude, I'm so glad you said the word execute. That's what it's about right now. You got the lineup, you got the content, you got the speakers. They're going to give executable items that they can go. They're not just going to sit and listen like, oh, that was, thanks. It's like, wow, I can now, going back to what we were talking about, I can go execute. I can get my coach. I can go for this.
Yeah.
It's that tactical advice that I think that a lot of loan officers need today is like, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And when are you going to do it? And now go do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's what the podcast is all about, right?
Because the thing is execution is key. I mean, people say to me all the time, like, I don't know, you guys probably hear it also, right? I want to have what you got on your podcast. Mm-hmm. But it took us 2.5 to 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever, you know what I mean, to get here. I know you started your podcast with an iPhone.
Yep.
I know that about you, you know what I mean? And so people don't get that. Like, if you want to execute. You don't have to be perfect, but my execution will be way better than somebody trying to be perfect, never execute.
Bingo.
So
perfection kills progress.
Yeah, all day.
And you know that about me. I started with an iPhone. Start with what you have. You'll get better with time. The best way to get better is just doing it. Like I say, fail. People are like, "Oh, I hate the word fail." I'm like, "You're gonna fail. Like you're gonna make mistakes, but that's where you learn the best lessons as you're doing this."
Well, I think the other aspect of that too is trust the process. Right.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight success with any of these things that you're talking about, right? Whether that is like, a traditional sales mentality of dialing for dollars, right? Or a social media mentality of posting for profits, right? Or podcasting for profits as well. I don't know. But it's not an overnight success, right? You didn't get there overnight. And none of these things that we're talking about today or that you will be talking about the podcast, Potapalooza, are going to help tomorrow. But they will help in 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing about Potapalooza and podcasts in general. If you get past 7 episodes, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. If you get past 7 episodes, you're doing better than the majority of the podcasts in the
I
world.
didn't know that.
Wow.
So
7 episodes. Like it's crazy.
right, and I can't tell you how many guys I've seen that get to that like 3-4 episodes and they phase out.
I know.
It's hard work. That's why.
But that's just it. It's
hard
not
work.
we all have hosted podcasts. We know that it takes a lot of work.
Right.
It takes a lot of execution to actually make it happen. But I tell people the same thing. Like you got to. I always tell them 10. I'm like, you got to get past 10. If you can make it past 10, you are in the top 5%. That's while podcasting. And I'm like, literally, just stay consistent with it, and you'll. I always tell people too, podcast is just the best way to get more content for a long time. I mean, we all know we chop it up and make clips for LinkedIn or YouTube Shorts or whatever it is. But that podcasting plus, like we're doing now, you can have a great conversation. You don't have to be the expert. You can bring somebody else on. My show was built on other people's knowledge. Like I'm not the smartest guy in the room ever, and if I am, I'm in the wrong freaking room. I'm having wrong guests on. So that's why I hang out with these guys. They're way better than I actually am. So let's talk Podapalooza.
So here's the coolest thing about Podapalooza.
Yeah.
For me, right, and this is the coolest thing about that there is no cost for any loan officer to dial in and listen. It's 100% free, right?
Yep.
Unlike other things that charge you money. I mean, Todd Duncan, Christine
For
Beckworth,
free.
Carl White, Karina. I mean, these are amazing speakers.
Yep.
Not to mention it's for a good cause too.
That's what I'm getting
Get
to.
to that.
That's what I'm getting to, right? So yes, of course, we want you to donate. We've set up a website called www.somedonate.com. The money goes 100% to an organization in DC called Some, So Others Might Eat. They've been around for 50 plus years. The most awesome thing that Some does is they're not just giving money and food to people, which is fine, right? That's great.
Sure.
And I don't want to belittle that ever. But what Some does is they actually help the family break the cycle of poverty.
That's awesome.
And when we're in that home financing industry,
100%.
Ginger Bell said it best. She said, Fobby, homelessness is the opposite of home ownership. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is, when she said that, I mean, it was like really chilling to me when she made that connection.
Absolutely.
So yes, we are trying to end the cycle of poverty. I don't want to just help somebody one day.
I see.
I don't want to give them a Thanksgiving meal one day.
Exactly.
I want to train them, like build your resume. Let's get your dental work done. Let's get your physical. Some provides all this to these
That's
families.
awesome.
It's like the proverb: give a man a fish, feed him for a day.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. And
Right.
that's exactly what this organization does. That's why this was so. When you reached out to me the first year, and of course this year, it goes to such a good cause. And like I said, we're talking about podcasting, we're talking about managers, we're talking about our industry. When you are able to donate to an organization like this that is helping people go and better their future, again, it's not just a hot meal. That's great. That does something. But when it's actually trying to do better, that's what we're all about.
Well, here's the crazy fact, man. 11% of America is living in poverty right now.
That's nuts.
Jeez.
11%.
11%.
Yeah, that means if
In
we had,
2022.
yeah,
There's something wrong with that.
So if you have 100 people in this room, it's very likely that 11 of them are living at the poverty level or below the poverty level.
Wow. That's like 1 in 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when I saw that number, it's like you really, and this is based in Washington D.C., right? Our nation's capital.
Yeah.
Wow.
And people always think, oh, well,
Yikes.
no one's ever broken the nation's capital.
A lot of people are.
A lot of people are, and especially in this recessionary times that we're living in.
You bet.
You know, everybody's tough. It's tough for all of us. You know, we just talked about this,
Sure.
right? This is off season, right?
Yeah,
We're blessed in the mortgage business.
we are.
I mean, beyond our beliefs. I mean, look, I'm a college dropout. I was a music major. Couldn't make it as a music major. Think
didn't know
about that.
You're still a bassist though.
Still a bass
And
player.
you do rock.
I do rock. Right?
Rockin'
And I've
loans.
been living a great life thanks to the mortgage industry.
Of course.
Right? So you got to give back.
You bet.
got to give back, man. You got to give. Because if you don't give, then what's the point of living?
You bet.
Well, that's what's cool about this event, I think, is that, for those that are going to tune in, is you're going to get knowledge and you can help.
Yes.
Right. And that's one of the neat things about this platform of podcasting and what you do so great here and roping others in is it's a win-win-win, right? You're going to win because it's going to help you personally. And that's not the purpose of what you're doing this, but it's going to help you, right? It's going to help others who are in poverty, and it's going to help those loan officers that tune in to help them grow their business. So it's like everyone who's tuning in, everyone who's part of it is winning. And that's successful.
Well, this is a shout out to Bill Bent. I don't know if you guys know Bill Bent. He was great coach of mine, and I love him dearly. He said that there's no reason that executives cannot have a win-win mentality.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So many executives, especially in our industry, have this like zero-sum game mentality that you lose, I win, you win, you know what I mean? And I'm saying no. There's enough for all of us on this table, and just be cool. It's fine.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Yep.
no reason anybody has to lose.
That's awesome.
100% true. Man, Fabio, this is going to
That's
be
great.
so excited. So Podapalooza, November 12th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, tune in. Like Fabio said, maybe you're struggling a little bit. Maybe you're having one of the best years. Tune in, get some knowledge, and if you get the opportunity to donate, you do. You have that a chance. Again, like you said, it's free for everybody. But if you have the opportunity to give back to an incredible cause, even if it's a little bit can go a long way in
Absolutely.
the situation. So thank you for putting this Podapalooza on. Thanks for your service. Thanks for everything you do for the industry. You're truly one of those people that continue to inspire and continue to lead from example.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you guys.
You bet.
You rock.
All right, guys. Stay tuned. A lot of great people coming up on Shredding Social.
Yes.